Yo YouTube, I hope everyone is being safe out there. Please remember, stay home unless you have to go out for your essential needs only. Let's do our part and fight this coronavirus together. Remember, teamwork makes the dream work. Now, there are many ways that this coronavirus has impacted our lives, but one of the main things that the news outlets have been speaking about more recently is the fact that it has affected our economic lifestyle tremendously. Now, 6.6 million people have recently filed for unemployment. What does this mean for us economically? Well, let's think about it. 6.6 million people are not able to spend the money that they usually spend. 6.6 million people will not be able to pay rents to their landlord. So that money is now not being able to circulate in our economy. This in itself alone tells us that times are getting harder and people are getting jobs cut, people are getting their hours cut, people are probably on their last couple $100 for survival. You might have your savings only to last you for another month and you don't know what to do. The main purpose for this video is to share with you my thoughts on going into financial survival mode. Now, I'm not going to come to you and tell you, oh, right now is the time that you need to build your side hustle, or right now is the time that you need to step up your game and start researching your next business venture. No, definitely not. What I understand is that there are a lot of people who are just trying to figure out how they're going to get their next meal, what they're going to do to pay rent, how they're going to keep the lights on during this period of time. So I want to help you to understand how to evaluate your current financial situation and make it through this severe pandemic without going too deep into debt. Now, some of us will eventually have to use our credit cards, but my goal is to try and help you to minimize the use of credit cards throughout this period of time. Now, before we jump into financial survival mode, quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial consultant. This video is purely for entertainment reasons, and any financial decisions you make as a result of this video are solely your responsibility. I do not hold any responsibility for any of your financial decisions. All right, with that out of the way, let's jump into what financial survival mode is going to be like for us. The first thing we have to do is we have to conserve more. Ways in which I think I can conserve more within my family are, eating out less or throwing away less food. Those are just some ways that I think I can conserve. You sit back and look at some ways that you think you can conserve in your household and write those down and start implementing them right now. The faster you do, the faster you can see some money being cut back on your expenses. The next thing I want everyone to do is to start creating a list of all the amount of money that you have on hand right now. That includes any kind of cash that's in your bank account, any cash that you have outside of your bank account, any cash that you can find in your couch, whatever cash you might have in peer-to-peer lending sites. Find those, list them, because that's how liquid you are right now. That's the cash that you have on hand that you can spend in case of an emergency. And I would hope that everyone kind of has like an emergency fund, but I know that some people probably have that being depleted right now because, hey, a lot of people are losing their jobs. Once you've listed that, I want you to list all your sources of income. Whether you have a part-time job or a full-time job or a side hustle, whatever it is, start listing that source of income and how much you're bringing in on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, on a monthly basis, whatever, just list it. Next, let's list all our bills or expenses. Anything that you pay for on a monthly basis is a bill. So that includes your mortgage, your rent, your utilities, that Netflix account, your Hulu account, your gym membership. And beside each of those bills or expenses you have, I want you to put a C beside the ones that you know that you could potentially pay with a credit card if push comes to shove. So for instance, your grocery bill, you definitely could use a credit card to pay for that. So put a C beside it. It's not to say we're going to use our credit cards right now to buy those things, but it's just to have an idea of what our credit cards can purchase where push comes to shove and we need to use it. Next, I want you to list your absolute essential needs that you need in order to maintain your household on a day-to-day basis. And I want you to do that in order of importance. So for me, my order of importance would be grocery, my home, my water, my lights, my phone, and my car. Those are my essential needs. Maybe you have a different set of essential needs. Go ahead and list those down. Now, once you've had all your bills and your essentials listed, I want you to compare both of them. And any bill that doesn't fall into your essential category, go ahead and cancel or suspend it. So that means any subscriptions, cancel or suspend them. If you have pest lawn service, cancel or suspend it. Anything that doesn't fall into that essentials category, cancel or suspend it. Now, many of you are like, well, Dennis, I need my Netflix, I need my Hulu, X, Y, and Z. Well, guess what? You can always do a 30-month free trial of each of those and just cancel and repeat every single time. Just go out and create a brand new email. And then once this whole epidemic is over, go back to your regular Netflix account. But for right now, you need to suspend it so that you don't have one extra cost on your expenses each month. Next, let's create a list of things that we can be more frugal in around the house. For me, one of the things I'm thinking about is grocery shopping. The best way to start being frugal in a grocery shop is to create a list and stick to that list. Also, buy store brands instead of name brands, and buy in bulk rather than buying small items. The focus here in the grocery store is to focus on your essentials, your meats, your grains, your fruits, your veggies, and to cut back spending on the luxury items such as candies, sweets, juices, whatever you can see that's luxury, cut it out. Another area that we can be more frugal in is to start cooking around the house more. I mean, think about it. You have all this time on your hand. Let's start cooking some more. Or also, let's cut out online shopping. I don't know what people are doing right now to go online shopping for, because it's not like we can go out and go partying or go to the bar or anything. So what are you purchasing online other than essentials, you know? And also, please, there's no need to purchase a full tank of gas right now on a regular basis if you're not an essential worker. If you're not an essential worker, your butt should be at home and staying away from everybody. So there should be no reason why people are spending on gas. And that's just another way to be frugal. Next, I want you to create a list of all your creditors. That includes any credit card companies, any stores that you've had credit purchases with. Go ahead and list them. Once you've made that list, I want you to go now and contact every single creditor and every single company you pay a monthly bill to. That includes your mortgage, your rental agency, your utilities company, and ask them how are they handling their customers' needs who are affected by the coronavirus. Be sure to ask them that. And remember, take notes so that you have it to go back to in the future. This next list is an important one, especially for those who have lost their job or are in fear that you're going to lose your job. I want you to list all your credit cards, all their limits, and all your current balances on them. Once you've done that, add up all your current balance and see what your total is for everything. Then I want you to go out and see if there are any promotions going on with other credit card companies where they have 0% APR for 21 months or 18 months, whatever it might be. Try and get a promotion. And when you're going to apply for that promotion, I want you to apply for a little bit more than what you currently have as your credit balance for all your credit cards. The reason being is that if you ever fall into a financial hard time during this coronavirus epidemic, at least you would have some money that you could use on the credit card that would be 0% for 18 months. So that's why we're asking for more money on this new promotional credit card than the current balance we have. If they deny you for one of their promotional credit cards, no worries. Let's go back to the drawing board and look at what you currently have. Let's call these credit card companies that you currently have and ask for a credit increase if you don't have enough credit to purchase in case of an emergency. And if your current credit card company denies you an increase, I want you to go back to them again and say, hey, as a result of the coronavirus, I'm facing difficult times. Can you please give me an increase in my credit limit? And see what they say. Everyone, remember, the goal of this credit section is not to spend it right away. This is only for emergency purposes. So if you fall into hard times and you have absolutely no other option, again, you've stressed every option you have, then we will go to the credit cards. But it is a last line of defense. Don't use it just to use it. Now, as many of you already know, the current coronavirus stimulus package has a provision in there to pay up to $1,200 to families that meet a certain financial criteria. Now, the Washington Post has a really good calculator that will tell you how much you are potentially going to get from this coronavirus stimulus package. Now, my thing to you is, if you are in dire need of this money, plan out that money right now. Go to the Washington Post link that I'm going to share in the description, and I'm going to show it to you right here at the bottom of the screen. Go to that link and start seeing what you're going to potentially get and start planning it out if you're in dire need. If you're not in dire need of that money, let's go ahead and put that money into your emergency fund. Another thing I want you to do is I want you to go out and file your current taxes. If you have a positive return. If you don't have a positive return, then you might want to rethink that. Another reason why you should file your tax returns right now is the coronavirus stimulus package is based on your 2019 or your 2018 earnings. So if you earned less money in 2019 than you did earn in 2018, you could get more money from the coronavirus stimulus package if you go ahead and file your current tax returns. On time, that is. Remember, everything is based on time. I don't know when the coronavirus stimulus package payouts are coming. So again, do your research and find out if you file your taxes right now, will they count as going towards the information that the coronavirus stimulus package is based on for your payout. The next thing I want everyone who has lost their job or lost their contracts to do is file for unemployment. The coronavirus stimulus package has made it possible for basically every and anyone to file for unemployment. No, not every and anyone, but it has basically broadened who can apply for it. For instance, if you were a 1099 contractor who was doing graphic designs, or you were probably mowing lawns or whatever you were doing, if you lost the ability to earn income as a result of the coronavirus, you could potentially file for unemployment. If you're unsure whether or not you can file for unemployment, please leave a comment in the comment section and I will go through and tell you whether or not you could potentially get unemployment. Another thing that I want a lot of people to go out there and do is apply for every and any job. If you were impacted by the coronavirus, go out and apply for jobs. There are so many companies right now, Walmart, Wise, Wegmans, a lot of these companies, Amazon also, are making it possible to hire people throughout this coronavirus situation. And they have specifically said that they are hiring more jobs. They're ramping up their hiring as a result of coronavirus because some of them are seeing high volumes of demand for their services. So they need more workers there. The next thing I want to cover is what I would consider the second to last line of defense before I went and started to use my credit cards, and what I would recommend you use. Now, everybody has their own opinions. However, the government has waived the 10% early withdrawal fee on your retirement account for up to $100,000. So if you can prove that you were negatively affected by the coronavirus, that means you lost your job or whatever it might be, and you have proof of that, you can get that 10% waived. Now, for me personally, I would use my retirement before I went to credit cards. That's just a personal opinion. Maybe your financial advisor tells you something different. Go with that option. But this is just me giving you the information. If you decide to dip into your retirement, remember, treat it as you would the credit card during this time of financial need. Only use what you need and only dip into retirement if you have exhausted all other means of making an income. That means you've gone out and you found any job that you can to apply for. Only use it in that situation where you desperately need the money and only take what you need. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what to do if you see a consistent depletion in your income or if your cash reserves are running out. Earlier, we created our essentials list. We're going to go back to that list and one by one, starting from the bottom and working your way up the top as you start to lose income. Don't call everybody at one time, but one by one, starting at the bottom of the list, start calling these companies and letting them know, hey, because of the coronavirus, I'm in difficult times and I have to ask you to suspend my account. Now, they may suspend it, they may not, but either way, ask them to put a note on your account to say that you are requesting that they suspend it, even if they say they can't suspend it, because you don't know what can change in this time. And maybe the president will say, hey, every company needs to suspend payments. Who knows what will happen? Your thing is you want to be able to say that was on file. Thanks again for watching, and I hope I was able to provide some good information for you. And if you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share it on all your social media platforms. And also remember, please be safe and try your best not to use debt to get through this coronavirus time. All right, have a good week and have a good weekend as best as possible.